Hello, it is Saturday the 14th of October. This is last night's Thunderball result. Machine 5, set of balls number 1. And we're just going to see why these numbers came out. Now, at the moment, I'm looking at the entire draw history summarised in this chart for set of balls number 1. This is where the numbers were in last night's draw. These are the Thunderballs. The number that came out was number 5, which is there on the chart. That was the winning number. Now, if we look at the chart for all sets of balls and all machines, you can see number 5 is there, the second most frequent. Now if we look at machine number 5, which was the one that was used, as you can see on this chart, number 5 is the most frequent Thunderball in machine number 5. Now that could be the reason why Thunderball number 5 came out, because machine number 5, Thunderball number 5, most frequent. But it was also set of balls number 1, and in that set of balls you can see Thunderball number 5, fourth most overdue. And if you look at number 11, which is one of the more frequent numbers with machine 5 and set of balls number 1 combined, that one's more overdue when you combine the two. But when you just look at machine number 5, you can see 11, second most frequent down there. So that might be why number 5 came out. So let's have a look at the main numbers, and we'll only go back as far as to when there's always been 39 main numbers. Now this is the chart for the main numbers. That's looking at the entire draw history for all machines and all sets of balls summarised in this chart. That's where all the numbers were, and this is where the winning numbers were on that chart. Okay, so those were the winning numbers. Just show you where they are. There they are, look. Anyway, the current trend is machines 5 and 6, sets of balls 1 to 4. But if we just look at machine number 5 and look where the main numbers are, that's what the chart looks like. If we just look at set of balls number 1, that's what that chart looks like. So this is where the winning numbers were. And for machine number 5, that's where the winning numbers were on that chart. Now when we look at specifically machine number 5 and set of balls number 1, this is the chart that we get. This is where the numbers are, or should I say where they were on the chart for that combination of machine 5, set of balls 1, and this is where the winning numbers were. So another rule we can apply is number 16, closest to the top right corner, most overdue for its frequency. So we've got a reason why Thunderball number 5 came out, simply because it was the most frequent number in machine number 5. And now we've got a reason why main number 16 came out, because it was the most overdue for its frequency on the chart for machine 5 and set of balls number 1. So if we narrow it down even further and look at all the other numbers paired with number 16, that's what the chart looks like. And again, we've got another rule: the most frequent number drawn with number 16, number 17. So that explains why 17 came out with 16. That's where the other numbers were. Notice number 13, one of the most overdue to occur with 16, and number 10, closest to top right. So let's just look at machine number 5. All sets of balls, these are the numbers paired with 16, that's where they were on this chart. And if we look at just a set of balls number 1, numbers paired with main number 16, that's where they were on that chart. Now if we look at the main number chart for Thunderball number 5 and set of balls number 1, that's where they were on that chart. So we've got one most overdue, one most frequent numbers. If we look at machine number 5, Thunderball number 5, this is where those winning numbers were on that chart. So if we just go with the numbers that are part of the current trend, which is sets of balls 1 to 4, and machine number 5, this is where the numbers were on that chart. And if we look at the set of balls number 1 and just the two machines that are currently in use, that's where the numbers were on that chart. So you can see some of the possible reasons why these numbers came out. So what we've got is most frequent, most overdue for its frequency, most frequent again, and perhaps some of them were overdue or whatever. So look at the chart just for the current trend, which is sets of balls 1 to 4, machines 5 and 6. This is where the winning numbers were on that chart. So, oh yeah, that's with Thunderball number 5 as well. So, yeah, that's the chart for 5 and 6 sets of balls 1 to 4. Okay, so this is where the winning numbers were on that chart. So you can see 36 was the most overdue number with machines 5 and 6 sets of balls 1 to 4. So again, we've got another rule. The rules are generally it's either the most overdue number, the most frequent number, or the numbers that are closest to that top right, which are the ones that are most overdue for the frequency. So by applying these rules, we could have predicted these numbers. So for the next draw, what do we do? How do we predict the numbers for the next draw? Well, let's look at how the chart is looking now. This is now that those numbers have been drawn. This is what the chart looks like. So if you remember that a minute ago, the most overdue number came out on this chart last time, and the most overdue now is 22. So apply the same rule again, pick number 22. Okay, now if you remember, we was looking at just machine number 5, and it was the most overdue Thunderball that came out on that not the most overdue, the most frequent Thunderball on the chart for machine number 5. So if we just look at all sets of balls, machine number 5, the most frequent number 5. So does that mean that these numbers are going to come out again? Let's look at each set of balls with number 5. Let's suppose set of balls number 1 was going to be used again, and we'll look at the main number chart for that. So just looking at the main number chart for machine 5, set of balls number 1, assuming that those two are going to be used again, the most overdue for its frequency is now 28, or maybe 18. I can't really tell which is closest to that top right corner now. So maybe we have to pick both of those numbers, or perhaps just one of them. Now if you remember, we looked at the number that was most overdue for its frequency with the one that was most overdue for its frequency. So will it be 33 with 28, or one of these 4 numbers, or will it be one of these numbers with 22, or shall we look at 18? Maybe 28 and 18 together, that looks like a good pair of numbers. But that's only assuming machine 5, set of balls number 1. So that means we would have to pick a completely different set of numbers for machine 5 and set of balls number 2. So how will we do that? Go through the same process again and apply the same rules. The rules that seemed to work last time, let's apply those rules again. And what would we come up with? What would it be? It would be, in this case, machine 5, set of balls number 2. The chart for that is looking like this. So maybe it would be number 8, most overdue for its frequency. So if it was machine 5, set of balls number 3. Remarkably similar. 28 and 8 again. Okay, so what if it was machine 5 and set of balls number 4? How does that chart look? Now you see we've got 18 again, most overdue, and there's 28. So now it looks like possibly number 12, closest to that top right. I'll just make a note of that. Now if we look at machine number 6 and set of balls number 4 and machine number 5, maybe 31. So what numbers should I pick? Well, in last night's draw, I think I got number 16 and that was all I got. I don't think I even got that, to be honest. So what numbers would you pick? Maybe number 10 or 31, because we don't know which machine it's going to be, and we don't know which set of balls it's going to be. We only know that it could be any one of those. So let's look at set of balls number 2 and those 2 machines, and now let's look at set of balls number 1 and those 2 machines. So generally, if we just look at the current trend, quite interesting how the chart changes dramatically when we look at all 4 sets of balls together. Because we noticed those numbers that were outstanding, 8, 22, 28, I think it was 12, and was it 31? Where are those numbers on this chart? You see, there's 22, looking very much overdue for its frequency, and so is 32, so maybe we should pick 32. But 18 That's not particularly outstanding. And where's 28 now? I can't see it, so I'm just going to do a quick search, and that means that it's there. It is. So which numbers should you pick depends really on how you look at it. So if we just look at the Thunderballs for these two machines and these 4 sets of balls, number 8 most overdue, these 3 are now the most frequent, and number 3 is the most overdue out of those frequent numbers. But let's look at individual sets of balls. So I've got set of balls number 1, chart for that one looks like this. Got 12 most frequent, 11 most overdue, number 8 second most overdue. That's set of balls number 1 and these two machines. Now set of balls number 2 and these two machines, definitely number 12. Most frequent and most overdue for its frequency. Third most overdue. So set of balls number 3 with those two machines, it's definitely going to be number 8. Most overdue for its frequency. Now if we look at set of balls number 4, even though number 5 has just been drawn in the last draw, look where it is on this chart for set of balls number 4. By far the most frequent and second most overdue, so definitely the most overdue for its frequency. Now consecutive occurrences are more likely than occurrences with a larger gap, simply because you can fit more consecutive occurrences into any number of draws. And to show you what I mean, I'll just show you this gap chart. Now this chart is different to the other one because these aren't numbers, these are gaps between occurrences. This is how many times the gap between occurrences has occurred, and this is when the last draw was where that gap between occurrences occurred. So for instance, you can see in draw 220 the gap between occurrences was 1, which means it occurred in consecutive draws, and that's happened 15 times. So 15 times this criteria where either machine 5 or 6 has been used with set of balls number 4. That's how that's the gap between occurrences of this criteria that we're specifying. Now if we specify Thunderball number 5, now we don't see anything on this chart, but if we look at the gap chart, see the current gap between occurrences is 543. So it's been 543 draws since Thunderball number 5 last occurred with set of balls number 4 and either machine 5 or 6. So it wouldn't exactly be a consecutive occurrence, would it? So anyway, there's a lot of information in this video. To actually draw each of these charts manually that I've just showed you, to actually plot each chart, to go through the entire history, the entire draw history, okay, find how many times each number's occurred with the specified criteria on this chart, and then plot a chart. To do this manually would take you ages. So by making this video, I've saved you a lot of time. That's if you're interested in, arranging the numbers like this so you can see where they are in relation to each other and make better choices when you're picking your numbers. So I hope that looking at these charts helps you to pick some winning numbers in tonight's draw. Good luck with that, and that concludes this video. So bye for now, and subscribe to watch the next video. So bye.